Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself. I am Salome Robert. I am project manager at NATAC. And I want to welcome you and also thank you for your presence at this event. Thank you for your interest and for letting us share our projects and its results. Today we have a very interesting agenda. We will start with a few words of welcome from our Chief Scientific Officer, José Carlos Quintela. Then José María Pinilla, our Head of Project Management, will explain the origins of OLEAF4VALUE, its main objectives and structure. Next, the principal investigator of each work package will provide more details and explain the progress and the results. Afterwards, we will have a coffee break where you can see the OLEAF4VALUE materials exhibition at the back of the room, providing more graphic understanding of the project and allowing you to see more products tangibly. Finally, we will present NATAC's latest project, SustainX, and we will listen to two sister projects that showcase different innovative ways to create new value chains, Robocop and Cheers. Finally, we will have some panel discussions involving the leaders of the work package of environmental, regulatory, and the market issues. And we will have the member of the advisory boards with us also for the panel discussion. So I want to be brief, but I would like to thank all our partners for betting on innovation and sustainability, which are keys for the industry of the future. And thanks for your time, your knowledge. I think all of us have learned so much in this project. I also want to thank the NATAC team, especially my team in the scientific department, who have worked really hard to get us to this point. So thank you very much. And now I will hand over to José Carlos Quintela. She's the scientific officer and co-founder of NATAC, to inaugurate the event. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Really, it's a pleasure to be here today in this final event. It's really a pleasure for us. At the same time, a shame because that means the project is getting the end. So we have spent 3 years working in this project with a very good results and nice experience. NATAC was born in 2010, and from this time we have participated in more than 30 research projects, many of them as coordinators. But this OLEAF4VALUE project is a special project for us. First, because it is the first big European project that we coordinate. 16 partners, 3 years, 4 million euros budget is a big project, of course. Second, because this project was born during one of the most difficult times for all of us, that was during the pandemic. All the OLEAF4VALUE family were discussing this project by teams. There was no other way to prepare this proposal. And a part of that is really good because all the 16 partners were been working together very hard and with very nice collaboration. And I think that's really one of the most valuable products that we have obtained in this research. Listen, I have a friend of mine. My friend Santi is not scientist. He doesn't know anything about bioeconomy, of course, and herbal extracts. And in that time, I was trying to explain him why we were so proud about getting this project. A very competitive call with more than 50 projects presented and only 2 granted projects. I was trying to explain, okay, 16 partners, 4 million euros, 3 years. And of course, he told me, what are you going to do? We are going to work in this. Wow, 4 years, 16 partners to work on this material. What are you going to do? What is inside? of this leaf to work such amount of people during 3 years and with spending 4 million euros. Well, the answer something is not here, but I will try to explain all of us now in the following presentations, the results, the main results that we have obtained. And again, thanks to all of you for coming today. Thanks to the OLEAF4VALUE family for all this work. And of course, my team, the NATAC team, for the hard work preparing the proposal and running all the projects and for the final effort, that is the final justification of all the work that we have done. Thank you very much and thanks again.
Thank you so much, José Carlos. Now we will have José María Pinilla for explaining us a little bit of the general view of the project. He's head of project management in ATTAC, and he has been working on the idea of this project since the beginning. So he's the best person to explain us the general overview of the project. And he was working in the supervision of complement all the technical tasks. So, thank you.
Hi, see if it works. Yeah, great, wonderful. Well, thank you very much again. I'm also someone with tears in my eyes today because it's the very, very, very last event of our very, very nice project. We have had a lot of hard work, a lot of fun, also good times, and we have created this OLEAF4VALUE family, this dream team, who we are very, very proud of. So, well, thank you, our family, and also thank you to the audience for being here today. I will try to briefly explain as an introduction what's OLEAF4VALUE, what are the main expected outcomes, what is the science and the idea, the innovative idea behind this project. So as an introduction, you will be able to more easily understand what will come afterwards. So all the presentation from our colleagues from the different work packages to show the main results. So I will briefly talk some words about NATAC to put you in the context, and then about the project. So NATAC, we are a business group, we are a company. We are dedicated to the research, the development, and the manufacturing of innovative ingredients, mainly herbal extracts for different industries: food, the animal nutrition, the nutraceutical, pharmaceutical, and cosmetic markets. Our mission is to transfer in scientific knowledge to industrially viable and sustainable projects that create value and improve lives of people. We are based in Spain, headquarters in Madrid. We have a factory in Extremadura, in the region of Extremadura, in the southwest of Spain. You can see the pictures there. And we export our products all around the world. You can see in the map, the green countries are the one importing our extracts. Well, sustainability has been present in the company since the very beginning. We have developed a quite innovative and out-of-the-box business model in our industry based in the valorization of agro-industrial biomass, and also in taking full use of the feedstock that we use, both medicinal and aromatic plants and also agro-industrial biomass. In this circular way, trying to get as much value as possible from the biomass and feedstock that we use, and also trying to close the cycle with a zero waste approach. So about OLEAF4VALUE. Well, OLEAF4VALUE, multi-product cascade-based biorefinery. From an underexploited, underused biomass in the primary sector to tailor-made solutions for higher added value international market applications. Such a complex name for a quite complex project also. We try to put everything in the title. So it started in July 2021 after during the pandemic still, and it's ending now in 1 month. It's coordinated by us, as it was mentioned before, with quite a high budget and quite a great amount of partners, 16 partners from 9 different European countries. So what's the context? The olive leaf that José Carlos was mentioning, why it's so important? Well, It's a key market in Spain, as you all know, and also in the Mediterranean basin. The olive production creates around 4.5 million tons a year of leaf biomass, olive leaf biomass. This biomass has to be removed from the fields, so it's a side stream today. It's only used sometimes to produce energy by its combustion. And it's a very, very special and a very good feedstock because it's full of different phytochemicals and full of potential for downstream processing. It's very much rich in different phytochemicals with different applications. So a very, very good starting point to create this valorization routes, this cascade approach, this biorefining approach that I will briefly explain. So OLEAF4VALUE covers the whole value chain. We have within our consortium, we have partners from the primary sector, from the olive biomass production sector, creation of the feedstock. Then we have all the biorefining processes, all the technological approach to create value out of this biomass. I will go deeper into this in a minute. And we have developed this Sambio concept, this smart optimization tool, and this Sambio, which is the smart dynamic multi-valorization route biorefinery. This is the key of this project. Then we have also gone through the application, so also look for application for the product that we have developed to reach the market. So the main goal of the project has been to set the basis of 6 new value chains based on this new concept, this Sambio concept, this smart dynamic multi-valorization route biorefinery for the cascade valorization of the olive leaf according to its initial composition. It's something we are very used to talk about, but I will try to explain a little bit so you can have a better idea about this. So let me go a little bit into detail. What's a dynamic biorefinery? So we have focused in the project, and you will see the results in a minute. First of all, in the feedstock. So we have analyzed the olive leaves, and we have analyzed all the different factors that can modulate, that can variate the composition of the olive leaves. From the biomass origin geographically, from the olive variety, from the seasonability of the crop, and also we have developed a set of different pretreatments, a set of different physical treatments to modulate the composition of the feedstock. So the idea on one hand is to understand how can we better choose and select the olive leaf to have the better composition for the downstream processing, and on the other hand, to develop different pretreatments to modulate the composition according to our own will, if I can put it like this. Then we have developed a complete set of different processing schemes. I will go one slide after. These, what we call valorization routes, which are different ways of processing the same feedstock with a different composition to obtain a set of different products using this cascade approach. So why is dynamic? Because according to the initial composition of the feedstock, is processed in a different way. So different batches with different composition are processed in a different way to obtain different products. And on top of that, we can even try to modulate the initial composition according to our will to direct this biomass to a certain downstream processing. So that's why it is smart and dynamic, because we don't always work in the same way. I go back and then I go to the Sambio, the smart dynamic. So what's the Sambio? So the Sambio is a tool, it's a software that its main outcome is to, by understanding the initial composition of the feedstock and also market needs and also sustainability aspects, it can design the optimal downstream processing. So the idea is to get as much value as possible out of every single batch of the initial feedstock. Then, on top of that, we have also developed what is called post-extraction technologies, post-extraction treatments, which are technologies to further tailor those molecules or products for certain specific applications by using, you will see in a minute, enzymatic biotransformations, molecularly imprinted polymers, and micro and nanoencapsulation, nanoparticles. And then straight to the market. We have also dedicated a full work package with our partners to try to get all the scientific support of the developed products for the sectors I was mentioning before: health, cosmetics, food, feed, and pharma. So the very brief summary of results, I don't want to take some of my colleagues' presentation, but overall we can say that we have analyzed more than 400 samples of olive leaves. We have developed a very nice new digital and fast analytical technology to be able to analyze on real time the olive leaves, the content of certain specific phytochemicals. We have developed pretreatments to modulate and that can dramatically increase the concentration of certain specific phytochemicals. We have developed all those 5 valorization routes processing schemes for the olive leaf. We have developed 3 post-extraction technologies. We have implemented them. We have obtained so many different new prototypes. And we have delivered more than 40 final products, which is a very big outcome out of the project. And we have get also the first scientific support on the application of those molecules. And then on a less technical but not less important area, we have developed this new biorefining concept, this digital biorefinery. We have created new opportunities for the entire value chain with a specific and positive impact in the rural area. We have also tested the economical feasibility of this solution, and overall we are contributing to the green transition. So as a final remark, we think that the OLEAF4VALUE dream team, this is something that was said by our colleague Kuba at the very beginning of the project. We have created this olive dream team, and we also are very agree on that. So we think that the OLEAF4VALUE dream team has made a huge step forward in the valorization of an underexploited biomass such as the olive leaf, while developing a new innovative concept of dynamic biorefinery that can serve as an inspiration to other industries. And also the future industrial development will have a definite impact on the whole value chain and in the rural areas where the biomass is principally located. So nothing else from my side. Thank you very much again for your presence. I will now leave the floor for my colleagues from the World Package leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jose Maria. And now we will have with us the precursors of the terming concept dream team for refers to OLEAF4VALUE family. So he's Jakub Sandak. He's a senior researcher in the Slovenian Technological Center in Renew, and he's in charge of coordinate the Work Package 1 about raw material and everything about the leaves. So, to you.
Thank you, Salome, for the introduction. And then I never regret for the dream team. This is really the dream of OLEAF4VALUE family. It's even better now. I have only 10 minutes. Yes, unfortunately, I would like to talk hours and hours about this work which we done in the working package 1, but perhaps this is okay. So working package 1 was about the supply chain development, so very beginning of the value chain, and then we try to change the underexplored biomass to a standardized starting material. Jose Maria said already about these 4.5 million tons. I am originally not from Slovenia, even I work for Slovenia, but when arriving in the country, I find in the springtime a lot of fire, and I'm thinking, oh my God, poor country, what they do, they cannot even extinguish this. And then this fire was the olive leaves which were burned by farmers because it is a hazard for the plantations. And of course, it takes some years for me to understand that. And then working for OLEAF4VALUE, this is also a little bit contribution to make less smoke from these valuable resources. Working package 1 objectives were several. Again, we focus on the beginning of the value chain, but we have some specific things which we would like to develop, and then there are some innovations. So we will focus on development of the suitability parameters, which later will be converted in the biomass suitability index. In order to do that, we have to understand a little bit more than we know at the beginning of the project, and then we also have to develop some technologies which were used to support us within this concept. And then I'm pretty sure that everybody in the room is aware of how the biorefinery works. I learned during the project, to be honest, but this is my understanding of the state of the art of the biorefinery. So on the left we have different resources. OLEAF4VALUE is for olive leaves, so we will have different kind of leaves all are beautiful, but from the technological, from the value point of view, we have not much idea about that. So we don't know the chemical compositions of that. We just know that they are present and they are available for our industries, for biorefining. So what the companies usually do, they make casino gambling. Okay, let me take the biomass, I will put it to the reactor. Maybe this will be good here. Yeah. So as a result, you will have something, you will have some income, but you are never sure because sometimes your biomass will be that of the extractives, another time is that. And then it is correlated not only with the euros which come to the bank account, but also with the environmental impact, as well as portfolio of products of the company. Yeah? Usually you will be very much directed into something. So this is state of the art. In few slides we will see what is the OLEAF4VALUE approach for that. But before doing that, let's just again also just ask maybe stupid question, what is best olive leaf for the biorefinery? And this takes a lot of time also for us really in the scientific way to understand it and to structuralize this, because there are several factors which will in fact determine this quality. First of all is the plant itself. With different species, provenance, different soils, different agricultural properties, irrigation, etc., etc. Then after that, we will have season when this biomass become available for the biorefinery. In the springtime, we will have fresh leaves which just start to wake up after the winter. And then on the other hand, we will have huge quantities of biomass, which is in the autumn with the harvesting, arriving to the oil plants. And there is several things which are also influencing the quality, the best biomass. For example, the way how it was treated, like drying. Maybe there is a possibility to improve this by chipping, by palletizing, or by providing fermentation processes. So this was a lot of hypotheses which we have at the beginning of the project, and then our work in the working package 1 was to provide a little bit more understanding of that. So just an example, you can see, olive leaves, but this is just an idea. Okay, this is biomass which can arrive to the biorefinery. If you have to make the business decisions, I will process Marazino or Arbequino, whatever. How you do that? Just looking at that, and this was the state of the art biorefinery. And just to have an idea about the different form of this biomass which can arrive to the company. Again, the pruning residuals as well as the leaves in the ponds of leaves in the So, in order now to have it in the scientific way somehow structured, we identify some things which we call kind of knowledge base, in order to scientifically explore, to provide the basis for the symbiont later. So, what are the factors related to the cultivation? How they affect the chemical composition of leaves? What is the effect of moisture content and drying conditions? This is one of the very important understanding of the project, for example. Homogeneity of the sampling. Okay, we have very simple. We would like to assess the quality of this biomass, but how to do that? What is the representative? From where we should pick our samples in order to have something which is well representing the lots. There is different deterioration processes for the biomass which can affect later the yield of the biorefinery. And then there is different components on the value chain, not only farmers but transportation, pre-processing, storage in the company, etc., etc. And then all of this information we start to call like OLEAF4VALUE encyclopedia. And then we are very proud of that. And then on this slide, you have just few of examples of this knowledge, solid knowledge. So from something which we have feeling, or maybe it's something like that. Now we have scientific proofs. Then, for example, there is a great variability of polyphenols in olive leaves. Before we have this feeling, but now we have also numbers, tables, and then scientific evidence. There are several of these examples. One of the most important, which to my understanding and very relevant for the biorefinery, is the way that the best way in order to prepare the chemically rich biomass is just dry it in the 100 degrees or 120 degrees, 1 hour or 15 minutes depending. No 2 hours, not 5 hours, but this time was found as optimal. And this is very valuable knowledge, because now we can redesign our value chains in order to have this optimal biomass. And there are many different other small knowledge bases, which we again scientifically prove, and then we are available for that. So having all of this in mind, you can see the state-of-the-art biorefinery. And now look at our proposal of the OLEAF4VALUE. So first of all, we have this encyclopedia. So we know now a little bit more about biomass itself and the transformation, how it changed during the value chain. We have also defined some very useful quantifiers in order to optimize things. For example, suitability parameters, biomass suitability index, real-time suitability in sensor, suitability index sensor, and also Sambio 4.0 as a software. And this is our approach. So we have the same resources. We didn't change anything, but now we have knowledge about that. So we have the technology in order to assess this at the early stage, and then we will bring to biorefinery only this thing which is really kind of justified in order for processing. And as a result, what we obtain, of course, more euro, because this is a driving force for the business, but we also contribute to the increase of the environmental friendliness of this technology. And moreover, we have many more products now than just before, which were just impossible even to think that they are there. Suitability parameters, these are quantifiers which biorefineries, so the user, the final user of the biomass, define it as relevant for them. And then you can see example here, polyphenolic contents, moisture content, essential oils, lignin, and different properties which are important for the biorefinery. And this we converted as scientists as a numbers. You will see in the next slide. By using different analytical procedures, including super sophisticated HPLC, and then spectrophotometry, GC, and other standardized protocols. So suitability parameter is a quantifier of the quality. And what we did in our project is that we assumed that we will compute the suitability parameter which are target for different valorization routes, as Jose Maria said already, and then we will convert our parameters, so different measures, into simple numbers. 0 is not suitable, 1 is perfectly suitable. Now, the high value of suitability index is not the only thing which determines the decision of the biorefinery to pick it for the transformation, but it is very important to be considered in optimization software. By mixing it with, for example, cost of the transportation or social impacts or environmental impacts, we can really optimize the supply of resources for the biorefinery. And this is an example of the sensor. This is something which can be done in field. There is on the table, there will be demonstration, so if anybody is interested, very much welcome to see the live demonstration of this. And then results, so we are using sensors in order to see something more red than our eyes can see, so near-infrared spectroscopy. And then we can correlate now the infrared spectra acquired with the sensor with some properties. In this case, you can have the relation between or prediction of the OPA content into the biomass. So there, again, more details will be in the table if you are interested. So summarizing, there was hundreds of samples, a lot of work in the laboratory, a lot of discussions, not too much fights, I must say. We were very peacefully implementing the project, but we are very proud of OLEAF4VALUE and which is systematic knowledge. We have sensors ready for do, and then we also have foundation for Sambio 4.0, which will be a working package too. And then the most important is, I think this is the contribution in order to change the biorefinery concept into quality and knowledge-based biorefinery value chain and operation planning. And then the last wish is then it will be continued somehow in the collaboration or with the project or maybe with the new partners who are sitting down in the room.
So thank you so much, Cuba. Any question for him? No question.
I can talk more, you know.
You want to?
Next time.
So you have the sensor in the showcase in the back of the room. So you will have the opportunity to see a exhibition during the break. So, no question. Now we have the work package 2. And for that, we have with us Emilia Ivanova. She's a senior researcher in our team, in scientific team in ATAC. and she's in charge of coordinator in work package 2, which is about the new extraction routes development. So,
thank you for the introduction, Salme. Today I will present to you work package 2, which is the multi-valorization route from a standardized starting material to added value fractions and bioproducts. In this work package, I am presenting the work of 4 partners. So we are NATAC and Center from Spain, then IPB from Portugal, and Inavenio from Slovenia. So what is a multi-valorization route? A valorization route, as Jose Maria said previously, is simply the processing scheme that the olive leaf biomass can go through to obtain the bioproduct. So on one side, we have the olive leaf, which is a single biomass that can have a different quality, and then we have developed 5 different processing schemes in order to process this biomass, and these processing schemes are able to obtain more than 40 different bioproducts. So by developing a different valorization route or processing scheme for the same biomass, we have actually created the basis of a smart biorefinery that is called a smart and dynamic multi-valorization route biorefinery. So what also makes this biorefinery smart is the integration of the real-time suitability sensor, which is able to detect the quality of each olive leaf biomass, and then a biomass suitability index, which will then be directly calculated from these suitability parameters that were previously mentioned. And from this biomass suitability index, there is an algorithm that is integrated into the biorefinery called a smart optimization tool. And this algorithm will then guide the biomass according to its quality and the market needs to the appropriate valorization route. So in OLEAF4VALUE, we have 5 valorization routes, as I previously said, and they were chosen based on the chemical composition of the olive leaf and have taken into consideration the different phytochemicals that are present in this biomass. So we have a valorization route that is dedicated to the polyphenols, to the 3 terpenoids, to the non-polar fraction and the essential oil fraction, to a fermented olive leaf biomass, and then to the lignin, cellulose, and hemicellulose fraction of the olive leaves. So I will go through all these valorization routes quickly. The first one, as I said, is dedicated to the polyphenols that are present in the olive leaves. In each of these processing schemes, as you can see the scheme on the right, we have these circles. The circles are actually all the bioproducts that can be obtained in these valorization routes. And they always start with an extraction process, and we obtain the first circle, which in this case is OPA15, and then by applying different chemical processes, we can further refine these products to obtain more refined biofractions with a high concentrations of the phytochemical of interest. So in valorization route 1, we are the mainstream bioproducts or the products that go downstream are actually extracts of oleoropane, which is the most abundant polyphenol in the olive leaves. And we start with obtaining the first bioproduct, which is oleoropane at 15%, and then we refine further to obtain the final bioproduct, oleoropane 70. Apart from this polyphenol, other polyphenols of interest and bioproducts that contain them that we have also obtained in this valorization route are hydroxytyrosol products, then products that are enriched in flavonoids like luteolin and verbascoside, and so on. So why are these products important? We have been able to obtain 10 different bioproducts in this route, and they have very important implications in many industries, such as most importantly in the food supplement industry and the healthy food sector, as well as some use in pharma and cosmetics. Oleoropane and hydroxytyrosol are very famous antioxidants, especially hydroxytyrosol, which is considered one of the most potent natural antioxidants. And then they can be used to support a healthy cardiovascular health, a healthy immune system, to maintain blood pressure levels, and so on. The second valorization route is dedicated to the 3-terpenoid fraction of the olive leaf. Olive leaf can contain up to 5% of 3 terpenoids, and these include mainly oleanolic acid as the most abundant, then methylenic acid, ursolic acid, and the alcohols uvaol and erythrodiol. So in this route, we were able to obtain more than 11 different bioproducts. As before, we start with the one that has 15% of triterpenes, and then we refine further to obtain triterpenes at 30%, at 45%, at 70%, and then the final product of this route is pure oleanolic acid at 97%. So in the downstream processing, we also obtain some side streams that are enriched in different phytochemicals. We have a side stream that also has some concentrations of polyphenols, of non-polar compounds, and a different composition of triterpenoids. So the triterpenoids have very interesting applications in the pharmaceutical industries, where they can be used as active pharmaceutical ingredients, as well as building blocks for developing new drugs. And apart from here, they also have some use in the food, feed supplements, and healthy food sector, as well as some use in cosmetics for skincare and skin repair. Triterpenoids are, in the scientific community, are well known for their anti-inflammatory properties. And by controlling the basic inflammation, they can indirectly control many diseases that are nowadays of concern, like metabolic syndrome, obesity, diabetes, and so on. And apart from this, triterpenes are also known for their antimicrobial properties. The third valorization route is dedicated to the essential oil and the non-polar fraction of the olive leaf. So in this valorization route, two different technologies were applied to be able to obtain these bioproducts. Hydrodistillation was used to obtain the essential oil from olive leaves, and then supercritical CO2 extraction was used to obtain the concrete and the absolute fractions. These fractions have interesting applications in cosmetics and in perfumery. But then for the essential oil, and this is also in accordance with the literature, we didn't get very high yields because olive leaf by themselves, they don't have a high concentration of essential oils. So the yields in this route were very low for the hydrodistillation, so only 0.12%. But then we had some more success with the supercritical CO2 extraction. We obtained some yields up to 6%, which were comparable to the extraction with nonpolar solvents like N-hexane. So the conclusions were that the low extraction yield for hydrodistillation was difficult to conceive some industrial applications for the essential oil, but then again, supercritical extract can be obtained from this route. The fourth valorization route is dedicated to the fermented olive leaf. So why have we included this? The idea is that the olive leaf has a certain composition, but then if you subject this olive leaf biomass to a fermentation process, then the various microbial enzymes can convert some of the present compounds in the olive leaves into different phytochemicals, and then change the composition of this biomass. And by changing the composition of the biomass, then maybe we can have enhanced biological activities, or also some new properties that were not seen before for their biological activity. This can have also some interesting applications in the cosmetics market, because nowadays fermented skincare is a big beauty trend. So in this valorization route, we also did some study in collaboration with Nubel, where we investigated controlled fermentations and their potential uses and bioactive properties. So the last valorization route is dedicated to the hemicellulose, cellulose, and lignin fraction of the olive leaf. So this fraction is actually part of the structural component of the olive leaves, and they cannot be readily extracted from the olive leaves. So the idea behind this route was to give additional value to the exhausted biomass from the other routes. So you extract your compounds of interest, such as polyphenols or triterpenes or non-polar compounds, and then you have an exhausted olive leaf biomass that still contains this hemicellulose and lignin fraction, and then we can give additional value to the olive leaf biomass by treating it further in this valorization route. So 3 processes were developed here. The first process hydrolyzes the hemicellulose to obtain xyloligosaccharides. Then this second process hydrolyzes the cellulose fraction to obtain fermentable sugars. And then in a third process, we have the polymerization of lignin to obtain low molecular weight polyphenols and that have antioxidant properties. So just as all the other valorization routes or processing scheme, they are all developed in a cascade manner. So the highlights of this valorization route are that we were able to produce xyloligosaccharides that had very beneficial properties on some microorganisms, and they can be considered as prebiotics, so they can find some market applications concerning these properties. And we were also able to produce antioxidants, although these were in lower qualities because of the biomass composition. But then the activities for antioxidant activity, they were similar to the ones of rosemary and higher to the ones of rosemary extracts. So to join all these valorization routes, we have also worked on a smart optimization tool. So what is this? This is just simply an algorithm that uses mixed integer programming so that it can direct the biomass into the most appropriate processing. So we have biomasses that can have different sources, different qualities, the market need at the moment, and then this algorithm incorporates all of these parameters to result into the most optimal processing of the biomass. So this has a very important industrial impact as it supports the maximizing the use of the biorefineries. And then it also makes the process, as previously said by Kuba and Kosebaria, more sustainable. And the other benefit that it is adaptable to the market. So according to the market needs, it can you can choose one way of processing or another. So just to simply summarize, Work Package 2 is the core of the Smart Biorefinery. We have developed 5 processing routes here that are able to produce more than 40 different extracts and refined biofractions. The valorization routes 1 and 2, dedicated to the polyphenols and the triterpenes, are the highest yielding ones, and they can be scaled up industrially and have their established markets and consumer interests. Valorization route 3 so far is not very feasible for industrial application because it uses very high cost technologies and has low yields, but it can be further optimized in the future. Valorization route 4 also, we obtained some very interesting results because we were able to obtain some extract that had different compositions, but so far they don't have an established market, so we should, in the future, we should work to establish a market for these products. And then valorization route 5 gives a further value to an exhausted olive leaf biomass, and in this valorization route we can also produce some bioproducts that can be used as prebiotic sources or antioxidants. So finally, the smart optimization tool will select the most optimal processing that makes the SunBio or the biorefinery more cost efficient and sustainable. Thank you. Thank you, Emma. Any question for her on Work Package 2? Yes.
Thank you very much. That was very interesting.
Thank you.
The question is, did you have time or enough material to see which of these routes were the most pronounced for you to walk? So where would the biomass preferably be guided to? Were there any preferences within the...
Yes, so this scheme is very complex and I didn't have a lot of time to explain it. So the idea that we have in the concept is actually that we have an initial biomass and we measure the quality of this biomass, then we apply some certain pre-treatments, and then these pre-treatments give us a conditioned biomass. So we can choose these pre-treatments in order to our needs. Choose the drying process or the maturation process or fermentation process in accordance to the market needs and what we want to produce. So choosing one treatment over another will first guide the biomass processing, and then this will also help with the optimization tool. And this first, so measuring with the sensor of the biomass will give us the biomass suitability index, and according to this index, and then some other factors that can be incorporated into the algorithm, so you can choose whether you want the process to be more sustainable, if you want the biomass to be from a closer quantity, a closer location, and so on. And then you can choose all these factors, and then the smart optimization tool will give you a result, so you should go through this route. We have incorporated some recipes, let's call them, into the smart optimization tool, and it knows that if the biomass has this quality, then you can obtain that many kilograms of this product, that many kilograms of that product, and so on, and it can also mix them between each other. It's very cool. Yes. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you, Emma. And we have also some exhibition of some beer in the showcase. So with samples and with leaves. So for the next work package, we have with us. We have with us Rolando Diaz. He's professor in the Polytechnic Institute of Braganza, and he was in charge of work package 3 with development of new technology for improve the quality and the organoleptic aspects of this extract obtained from the work package 2. So thank you, Rolando.
Okay, thank you. So, good morning, everybody. Rolando Dias from Portugal, Polytechnic de Bragança. So, in work package 3, we are devoted to the development of post-extraction technologies, and our idea of the 3 lines that I will present or talk about is to add value to the extracted fraction. So, our idea is that we can always add value to the extracted, let's say, products. This involves 3 different lines, and they are very hybrid, I would say like that. That's why I will need the help of my colleagues to have a very clear presentation of the outcomes, okay? These 3 lines are the work of IPB that is devoted to the development of imprinted polymers, so a kind of tailored adsorbent to improve the quality of the purification and to make it more, let's say, feasible and efficient. The second, let's say, line is the encapsulation technologies for olive bioactive compounds. This work was made in the University of Firenze. We will have Wasim here with us to explain the results from Professor Camila Bergonzi Group. And the third one is devoted to enzymatic biotransformation made by the company Arcadio, Barcelona. And we have João and Fernando with us to also present the results. So, starting with the idea of IPV work, our idea is to develop, make the synthesis, first the design and then the synthesis of molecular imprinted polymers, are synthetic materials that they should have some specific interaction with some target molecules that are in the olive leaf extracts. So, if they work, they will allow us, for instance, to target minoritary compounds that they can be or they can have very high added value at the final. Of course, to do this, we need first to find the optimal conditions concerning the synthesis conditions for molecular imprinting. Also, we are always thinking about industrialization or some possibilities to make this industrial, let's say, effective. So we were working also with, let's say, assembly, control, and optimization of a prototype that shows the possibility to extend this to industry. Okay, so first we need to prove also that the synthesis of these particles is possible at high scale, means gram scale at least, because to be used in an industrial process we need this amount of mass. So we, after some failure, of course, is also always the obvious, we get our, let's say, optimum particles, and then we make the synthesis at the gram scale of the selected particles. This involves not only the chemical composition, but also, for instance, the morphology, because to work in packed columns, we need to adjust the morphology in order to make the, let's say, the pressure nice to be working with the high pressure systems, let's say like that. So there in that third figure, we show a column that is also in the table, a column that we use with packed MIPID particles, and it was implemented in prototype, the industrial prototype, or that shows our idea. This is the prototype that was developed by us. This involves not only, let's say, the sensoring and the assembly of the physical connections, but also the control and the software to get the data and to use. The right side is a real, let's say, a real process flow where we demonstrate, for instance, here that we are getting oleuropein in this region, improving the purity, and then in other fractions, glycosylated flavonoids, and at the end, the aglycone flavonoids. So the idea is working, and we are able to repeat this process and improve the purity of the target molecules. This is just an overview of that work. Each point in that flow needs this kind of analysis. So from here, you can have a clear idea that this is an initial OPA extract that contains oleuropein, but other minor compounds. And at the end, the products that we are able to derive with the MIPS, they contain, this is a very rich oleuropein, let's say, fraction. There's parts were removed. Here it is something that is a very low concentration here, that is glycosylated luteolin, and after the aglycone that is at very, very, very low concentration in the initial extract. So the idea is working. Just a few examples of several samples that we prepare, several fractions with very different composition. We have a few there also in the table. And the key idea is also that we are using just a greener approach concerning the kind of solvents that we are using to make the separation. Many techniques or competitive techniques, they use more harmful solvents. We avoid that. We are just using hydroalcoholic solutions. Of course, that all of this can be improved. This is in life is always like this. So we have some ideas. One idea is, for instance, to try to improve the quality of the particles. In our opinion, this is not the best option because it will increase a lot the price, and for industry applications, it's eventually not feasible. We prefer to consider, for instance, playing a little with the sorption process, or eventually couple the sorption process with the previous nano or microfiltration to improve the quality of the purification. So this is the overview of our work in Bragança, and now I needed the help of Wasim to explain the outcomes in Firenze. Thanks, Wasim.
Thank you for giving me the time to give the overview of my work. So the most challenging part, one of the most challenging part of this project is to enhance the solubility and dissolution and permeation enhancement of these bio extracts, TTP70 and OPA40. For this purpose, we have used different innovative drug delivery systems. For example, the co-grounds, the solid dispersions, polymerate micelles, and micro-emulsions. All these are micro-encapsulations. So we successfully prepared different micro-emulsions, 6 micro-emulsions and 6 solid dispersions, and 2 co-grounds of olenolic acid and TTP70. Okay. About the microemulsions, we have prepared 2 microemulsions of oleanolic acids and 4 microemulsions of TTP70. We got a good solubility enhancement result, that is 1,000 times enhancement in solubility of oleanolic acids and 3,000 times in solubility enhancement of TTP70. So all these formulations, I mean the microemulsions, are stable for 2 months. About the co-grounds, we have prepared different co-grounds of oleanolic acids and the TTP70. The oleanolic acids we have prepared successfully 3 co-grounds and 3 co-grounds of TTP70. So we also got good enhancement in solubility, that is 600 times solubility enhancement and for the oleanolic acid and 200 times for TTP70. About solid dispersions, we have also prepared different solid dispersions of TTP70 and oleanolic acids. We also got good improvement in solubility and dissolution improvement. So about polymeric micelles, so we prepared only 1 micelles of OPA40. That also we got good improvement in solubility and dissolution improvement. So about, okay, as the final objective of the project is to prepare the composite formulation that actually contain both ingredients, I mean both extracts, that is OPA40 and TTP70. So we have successfully prepared 7 different composite formulations. 3 among them are co-grounds of TTP70 and 2 are solid dispersions and 2 are microemulsions. So we got good improvement in solubility, dissolution, and all these formulations are stable. Thank you. If you have any question, you are welcome to ask.
Now Fernando from Archebio will present the results.
Good morning to everybody. I'm Fernando Gioppe, project manager of Archebio Biotech company. And today I will show you the work carried out on the biotransformation of extracted fraction of olive leaf to produce added value molecules. The work we carried out is concentrated to the transformation of these 2 molecules with the aim to improve their performances and to obtain molecules with high value properties. Our work, we worked on the transformation of oleanolic acid and oleuropein through different techniques and processes like hydroxylation, glycosylation, or hydrolysis. By our works, we obtained, in particular, we obtained regarding oleanolic acid transformation, a set of 25 derivatives with good conversion yield and purity, and in particular, we obtained molecules like keretaroic acid and hydroxylated derivatives of oleanolic acid, which are molecules that have properties like antioxidability and neuroprotective effects. Regarding the transformation of oleuropein, we, with our works, we obtained in particular 2 molecules like hydroxytyrosol and elenolic acid, which are molecules that have properties like antimicrobial and anti-cancer effects. So, in our works, we are able to biotransform olenolic acid through microbial fermentation, and we obtained several hydroxylated derivatives through by a process that involves the use of specific fungal strain called Absidia cylindrospora that is capable to produce this hydroxylated version of olenolic acid under particular growth condition. Switching to the transformation of oleuropein, we obtained through enzymatic hydrolysis elenolic acid and hydroxytyrosol. The process to obtain these two molecules involves the use of some specific enzyme like lipases or hemicellulases, which are capable to cleave the oleuropein structure to produce elenolic acid and hydroxytyrosol. So, in conclusion, these results have an important implication according to the circular economy because that efficient biomass utilization can produce high added value molecules. That's it.
Okay, so this is the overview of our work in work package 3. And let's say we will have questions for you for sure. I don't know. Any question? Yeah. For Fernando? Any question for Fernando?
Sorry, I have a question for you.
Oh.
So for the MIP, what if you were to speculate, what would the industrial uses be? Would it be like as a color material, or how would you use it in that?
Yeah, I think that for these materials, they are very well known in analytical purposes in science because they are a kind of antigen-antibody synthetic, let's say, analog. But for industry, they are not so well used and known. So the key idea of our work is to show that this can be escalated to the industrial production and purification. And in fact, we give the use of these particles in columns, preparative columns, in fact. So we are able to have products at milligram scale, I would say. Milligram scale. Not gram scale, yeah, but milligram scale. The particles, yes, you can have gram scale. The purified products at milligram scale. So the idea is, and you can increase, of course, the volume and the mass of the particles. So I think that it's possible to do it.
More questions for
Fernando? No? Sorry.
So thank you, all of you. And now we have with us Luis Goldman, which is Senior Project Manager in ISO, in the technological organization. So he's in charge of coordinate the work package 4, which is about the market applications. So thank you for sum up this information.
Thank you. Good morning. So work package 4, so that was about towards market applications, and the objective was to study the potential health benefits of the compounds and the formulations that were made in the other work packages for an application in the food supplements, and the pharmaceutical and or feed markets. And we were with 6 partners, so also 6 main tasks. So I myself from NISO with Natak, Nibel, IMR from Norway, Univi, which was also in work package 3, and MLU in Germany. So the first task, so Natak was in charge, was about the antimicrobial and antioxidant properties of the various olive leaf products. For further use, for example, as natural preservatives in the food, feed, and cosmetics markets. And results indicated that many of the products show great potential to be used as antioxidants or antimicrobials. So this included providing protection against free radicals, protection of fats against oxidative oxidation, and feed preservation. So for example, in this graph here, we see a very kind of potent reference in antioxidative capacity. Oh, sorry. And here are some of the olive leaf extracts, and here is the All European 70 extract. It's also, if you compare it to this reference, it's also very potent. So the next part of NATAC, you focused on the antimicrobial effects, and it was found that mainly the tritopene-rich olive leaf products, as well as the flavonoids and oleuropein, were excellent at stopping the growth of spoilage and pathogenic microorganisms, acting thereby as natural preservatives. So this was shown by agar diffusion halo assays traditionally, and so this was actually performed at NISO in vivo fermentation model. The intestinal pathogen C. difficile was added, and we see here that, for example, the OPA extracts compared to this reference bar here showed really an inhibition of this pathogen, as well as here for example, the side stream compounds. So then we move to an in vivo part of MLU. So in this task 4.2, the bioactivity of more than 20 extracts was analyzed in the simple model organism C. elegans, also called nematodes. And on each of these extracts, a basal set of 3 experiments was done to assess the antioxidative effects in vitro and also in vivo, and also the stress resistance in vivo. So here in the first one we see the in vitro antioxidative capacity of an aqueous extract and also of a methanol extract. So here is a very strong antioxidant reference, and then we see that also these olive leaf compounds have the capacity to capture or have the antioxidative capacity, and in vivo, so in the worms, you see here a nice difference in the increase in the resistance against stress. And also in the ones compared to the black bars here, we see a strong antioxidative effect. And for the most potent extracts, also additional experiments were performed to study the effects on lifespan and neuroprotection. So this is also possible in these nice nematodes. And so here we see the number of intact neurons, and so here is the control, and we see that the triterpenes are really protecting the neuronal degeneration. And also here in the one we see with the xylo-oligosaccharides in this particular concentration, a prolongation of the lifespan. So task 4.3 was about increasing the bioavailability of the olive leaf derived bioproducts, as you just also heard from Wasim. But in work package 4, it was really about testing the bioavailability in this PAMPA assay. So it's an artificial membrane in which the diffusion across this membrane can be studied, and also with an intestinal model where intestinal epithelial cells, the active transport of the compounds was studied. And actually all the formulations improved the dissolution and permeability of the bioactive compounds. And here are some examples of here the solid dispersions that improve the permeability of olenolic acid and tritopene 70. Polymeric micelles that improve the passive and active permeability of polyphenols in the OLEAF4VALUE 40 extract. And also the dissolution profile of the co-ground products was also improved. Then we had task 4.4, which was focusing on the cosmetics application. So Mibel was doing that, and the aim was to create a stable formulation with also an attractive color, odor, the solvents that are allowed and safe for the cosmetics application. So there was this funneling approach, so more than 10 different extracts were tested to make more than 100 different formulations. So these are micro and nano encapsulation formulations to increase the bioavailability for skin cells. And there was one lead substance that came out, and that's the oleanolic acid taurine derivative. And so there was also an in vitro skin cell experiment done, which showed also promising results. Here there is, so it binds to a receptor. Here we see two different doses, so there's also a dose response that inhibits this receptor. That plays a crucial role in keratinocytes and lipid renewal. So this is considered a beneficial result, which is being investigated further also in a business case. So task 4.5, here we looked at the potential of the olive leaf bioproduct to beneficially modulate the human gut microbiota and gut barrier function and immunity in vitro models. And here we screened more than 30 different modified olive leaf extracts or in combinations in the in vitro microcolon model. So this is a fecal fermentation model that mimics the environmental conditions in the human large intestine. And this high-throughput screening was followed by assessment of the supernatants from this model, so that contains all the metabolites of the microbiota in this co-culture model with intestinal epithelial cells and immune cells. And to show some of those results is that indeed mainly the extract rich in polyphenols were able to modulate the microbiome and also the intestinal epithelial barrier function. So here we see the short-chain fatty acids production, so that's what the microbes always make, and it increases in some of these OPA extracts. So we see the green bar butyrate, and this is very promising as butyrate is considered very healthy for your gut and beyond. And on microbiome composition, so I will not go through all the colors, but here we see, for example, indeed an increase in typical butyrate-producing species. And with here the gut barrier function, so it's a challenge model that when you do nothing, the integrity goes down. But when we add the fermented OPA extract, we see here that there is really a recovery of the barrier function. Then the sixth tasks are also really different. So here the aim was to test combinations of olive leaf bioproducts for potential resilience enhancement of Atlantic salmon to major viral diseases. And this was investigated in two different models. So first in in smaller fish called fry, and later also in bigger fish called smolts. And in the fry we had I tested 4 combinations of the extracts in the feed and challenged with 2 viral diseases. And in the bigger fish, 2 combinations of extracts in the feed and challenged with 1 viral disease. And the aim is also to increase resilience to diseases with the functional feeds as a strategy to increase the sustainability of fish farming and to reduce losses. And a glimpse here of the results. So far, I know that adding these extracts to the feed, the fish accepted it well. But so far, the investigated extract combination did not lower the viral load, and also did not really show protection against viral diseases in the fish trials yet, as far as the state of the data analysis is now. But tissues of the larger fish are also still currently being investigated to assess whether the extracts may have a potential to also protect the fish against tissue damage induced by the virus. So as a summary, so many olive leaf bioproducts showed great potential to be used as antioxidants, so they were mainly the polyphenol-rich extracts, or as antimicrobials, mainly the tritopene-rich extracts. In the nematodes, it was shown that the antioxidative effects of some of the extracts are actually much stronger in vivo than in vitro. The polyphenol-rich extracts can modulate the human gut microbiota and intestinal barrier and immunity with potential health benefits. The oleanolic acid taurine derivative is selected as a very promising substance for cosmetic applications. And the solubility and permeability of various extracts was improved by preparing all the different formulations. So far, the extract did not show protection against viral diseases, but also final results are pending. And yeah, at some point we also made a list of favorite extracts, so trying to rank which extracts are most promising if you look at all the experiments that were done by the 6 partners. And then our favorite extracts are the oleuropein 40 and 70%, the methanol extract, so the oleanic acid taurine, tritipene 70 solid dispersion, xylo-oligosaccharides, and also hydroxytyrosol. And yeah, it's to be substantiated further in future studies. So yeah, very interesting, maybe things to follow up with.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the coffee break and the showcase of materials of OLEAF4VALUE. My name is Andrea Leon. I am the communications manager at Innovarum, and I'm very happy to be here today with all of you to celebrate the closure of OLEAF4VALUE. It has been some very interesting 3 years in which all the partners have worked really hard in coming up with the results that we are showing you here today. So yeah, I hope you're having a great time. Right now we're moving on towards the second part of the event, in which we will have some more presentations, this time from other EU projects that are in some certain ways related to the aim of OLEAF4VALUE. I would like to now introduce Alba Ramos from NATAC. Alba holds a degree in biotechnology with a master's degree in new foods. She has a doctoral thesis focused on the study of polyphenols within the wine sector. And Alba will be presenting the SustainX project. It is the first flagship project funded by the CBE-JU. It aims to transform the traditional botanical extracts industry with a unique model that could be replicated by the European bio-based industry. So, Alba.
So thank you, Andrea, for the introduction, and also thank you our colleagues from Innovarum and our colleagues from NATAC for the great organization of this event. So yeah, I'm going to start now with the presentation of our new project, SustainX. It's very close related to our project OLEAF4VALUE that we are closing now. And now we have learned a lot about this olive refinery. Now we will start with this new concept. So first of all, I would like to start by introducing the flagship project, because it's important to understand what kind of project we are talking about. So flagship projects are funded by the Círculo de Bellas Artes Europe Joint Undertaking Partnership. This is a public-private partnership between the European Union and the Bio-Based Industry Consortium. So they are referring to long-term and large-scale research initiatives, and it has 2 specific characteristics that make them special. So one of the characteristics for the flagship project is that they are implemented at industrial scale. So we are talking about real manufacturing plants, and we are going to deliver Tier 8 at the end of the project. So it's important to consider that we are talking about industrial scale. And another specific characteristic is that we are talking about first of this kind large-scale production facilities. So they are first of the kind. It is the first demonstration of a technology or an innovation that has been already demonstrated but not implemented yet at industrial scale. A total of 15 flagship projects have been granted in Europe since the beginning of the program, and now we are presenting SustainX, that is the first of its kind flagship biorefinery for botanical extract manufacture. It has been developed here in Spain, in the region of Extremadura. That is a region with a long agro-industrial tradition, facing several challenges that we will address in this project. So let me now start with the introduction of the project itself. Here we can have some basic information. Firstly, the title. So the title of the project is Next Generation Zero Waste Dynamic Multi-Valorization Route Biorefinery for Sustainable Botanical Ingredients. So we will showcase a replicable Amber-style model for Extremadura to the whole bio-based industry in Europe. The project started in June 2023 will be last during 54 months, so we will finish the project hopefully at the end of 2027. It's a project also coordinated by us, by NATAC. We have a big budget, an overall budget of more than 22 million. And well, as I said previously, the project is coordinated here in Spain. So we are going to develop the flagship in Extremadura, specifically at the north of Cáceres, in a small town called El Pas. And we have a very big consortium composed by 21 partners, 5 research and technology organizations, 12 SMEs and 4 large companies from 5 different countries around Europe. So the objective is to turn our existing production plant in Herbaz into a digitalized circular biorefinery to produce healthy plant-based ingredients from different biomasses, local and medicinal and innovative plants, and also agro-industrial biomass. To achieve this very ambitious goal, we are not alone, so we are part of a great team composed by these 21 partners covering the whole value chain. Here you can find the complete list of partners that compose the consortium. We have divided them in 3 main groups covering the whole value chain from the feedstock to the end users. So we have a first group working directly in the field to provide all the feedstock that will be then used in the project. We have another second group that is integrated by the technological providers. So these people will be working directly in the biorefinery, in the engineering part of the project, but also providing some additional technologies and innovation that we are going to implement in different levels of the project. And finally, we have the group of the end users who will be testing our product and develop different market applications. So to have a general overview, a very brief general overview, to know the transformation we are going to achieve, starting from the feedstock, we have 6 different feedstock, 3 medicinal and aromatic plants that will be chamomile, rosemary and lemon verbena, and also 3 agro-industrial biomasses, olive, artichoke and pomegranate. This feedstock will be then valorized in our smart dynamic biorefinery, this flagship that we are going to develop in Extremadura, and these products will be transformed into 46 final ingredients ready for the market. These 46 products will be natural ingredients, mainly botanical extract, that will be then applied directly in the market, and our end users will be working for these different applications. Now let's see the model, the core of the project. So the model is based on the following key points. Firstly, and one of the most important, is the complete valorization. This has also been introduced in OLEAF4VALUE. So the objective is to maximize the value of the feedstock using an optimal cascade approach. This means that we are going to develop a sequential processing of the biomasses. So instead of obtaining one single product from a feedstock and discarding the rest of the raw material, we will be obtaining different fractions, giving value to all of them, and also producing different side streams that will be included in the model. And to achieve this complete valorization, we have changed completely the concept from a linear system to a multi-product cascade. So the linear system, the classical model, you have one single feedstock, you're obtaining a final product. This is a static process, well-established process, but you will be always working in the same way. Then in the cascading approach, we will obtain different products from one single feedstock, and this cascade approach will be also adapted to the characteristics of the feedstock. But in sustenance, we have developed a multi-product cascade. This multi-product cascade have been developed for each of the feedstock included in the project. So we have developed these processing schemes for each of the 6 feedstock that will be then extending also to other new feedstock. And the idea is to have a specific processing scheme also connected between them. So you can obtain the same product through different processing pathways. And this model is also dynamic. That is also a very important key of this model. Let's see now. So we have introduced the concept of the dynamic analysis. We have called this dynamic analysis in the new concept called Diana. So Diana is a novel and unique production system based on a smart dynamic deriving multi-analytical manufacturing site. So we say that it is analytical because each way of processing will be different. Diana is designed to optimize the processing scheme, the quantity of the product to be obtained, and to maximize the resource use efficiency. So the idea is to adapt the process to the specific characteristic of the raw material and also related with other factors that we are going to analyze in the process to obtain the maximum value possible starting from this feedstock. As this is a dynamic analytical refinery, we will be working differently, and we will prioritize different processing steps in the whole production processes. So we are going to transform our manufacturing processes. Other key point is the zero waste and zero pollution ambition. This project called Sustainx, as you know in the name, have a very important approach to the sustainability. We have designed circular processes that allow the consumption of fewer natural resources. At the same time, the aim is to have a complete valorization of the feedstock. So even the residual biomass will be valorized. We will be applying the residual biomass for biofertilizer and also producing energy in the biomass boiler. And we have identified different critical emissions that will be addressed during the whole project, and we are working in different mitigation measures. And finally, other important point is that this model will be versatile and replicable. This is also an important characteristic of general in the flagship projects. So the model will be adaptable to each type and quantity of the feedstock. So we have designed 6 different processing pathways, not 6, sorry, 6 processing for feedstock, but each feedstock will have different processing pathways. But this will be not only applied for this feedstock, so then the model will be replicable to any other kind of biomass that we want to integrate in the model. But also we can adapt for other different quantities. So we are not working with only one kind of phytochemicals, we are addressing different groups of phytochemicals, so the model is quite broad. The model will be also replicable for other feedstocks outside from Sustainx and from different origins. That is also important because the origin is highly affecting the quality and the phytochemical composition. And finally, it will be replicable by the European bio-based industry, not only in this industry for the botanical ingredients, but also will be like an inspiration for the whole European bio-based industry. The goal is to transform our current production plant in Airbus into the most modern, digital, innovative, and sustainable plant for the production of botanical extracts. So, placing the company at the region at the forefront of the sector. The goal is to have this flagship, this manufacturing plant ready, fully operational in 2027, resulting in an improved environmental performing biorefinery with maximum resource and energy efficiency. We also have different impacts at different levels. Firstly, we have a positive effect in the industry. We have designed a disruptive ferrous kind European technology, so this is something new in this first of its kind innovation, and also, as I said, it will be like an inspiration. And this industry will be replicable by other models, so it will help to achieve the goals of the European objectives. About the region, we are going to have also a lot of impact in Extremadura, addressing different challenges in the socioeconomic development. So we are going to create new green jobs. We will attract different investment and giving an extra value at the region. And we are developing new sustainable alternatives for the primary sector. For example, we will find an alternative for tobacco producers. That is one of the challenges in the feedstock providers that we have included. Also, we have included in the model the agrivoltaic system that is also quite innovative and will be addressed in Extremadura. And finally, we have an important impact in Europe, enhancing the European competitiveness, but also contributed to some key European policies, for example, from the European Green Deal and the Rural Pact. We have this final slide just to highlight that Sustained will add value from an innovating and sustainable approach in Extremadura. And you can find more information of the project in our social media, our LinkedIn and our website. Well, thank you for your attention. If you have any question now, I will be happy to answer, and then in the panel discussion also we can address different points. Thank you.
Questions? Anybody? Perfect. Thank you, Alba, for your presentation. And now at this point, I would like to introduce Andres Alvarez Murillo. He's from the University of Extremadura. Andres, he's an industrial engineer with a PhD, experience in research projects applied to industry in biomass boilers, hybrid project generation, nuclear plants, boiler manufacturers, and gasification plants. Andres, he will present the Robocop Horizon Europe project, also CBJU funded project, proposing a breakthrough cultural change in the agri-food sector, deploying effective regional and circular bio-based business models for the valorization of waste streams from 3 agricultural sectors: grape, olive, and stone fruit.
Good morning, I'm Andres Alvarez from the University of Extremadura. Thank you, the organization, for inviting us. As you probably understood, we are a university located in the region where NATAC is operating until now, Extremadura. So it's a pleasure to us to be together with them also in this project, which started last year. Well, the project itself is mainly focused in the bio-based business models, focusing mainly in the cooperative sector, in the primary sector. That means the main focus of this project is creating the overall value chain from the producer until the end users. Yeah. So for this, we are a Scope Agro-inspired, mainly focused, as I said, in the cooperatives for 3 sectors. I will introduce again these 3 sectors. And the idea is focusing in 3 regional hubs, mainly based in Spain, Italy, and Greece, and finding different scenarios for developing the idea how they could deal with this valorization from these industries. In the case of this consortium, we are mainly 7 countries. As I said, our primary sector is focused in these 3 regions: Apulia, West Macedonia in Greece, and Extremadura region in Spain. We have a big consortium of 18 partners, and the main idea is closing this loop from the byproducts in the cooperative, in the primary sector, going through the technologies and technology available in the market. We are using technology well known here as between 6 and 7, I would say, and putting into the real market products based in feed for animals, food industry, and also neutral chemical. As I said, now the life cycle assessment, but also the business model cases are like our major target in this project. This is the big map of the overall consortium. The first pillar will be the primary producer, the second the biorefinery technologies, and the last pillar will be how to put these added value products or biocompounds into the final market. Some of the major goals of the project could be summarized in how to deploy realistic business model cases from the current situation of the companies or the primary producer until the future or potential future expectations. We are using technology with I would say moderate level of readiness. The idea is expanding their portfolio of bio-based products, in the case the ES6, and obviously reduce the ecological footprint. In terms of the final products, we can see how we will be going through some formulations for the food and feed industry, cosmetic and nutrachemicals, and the last step in terms of the valorization could be the plastics and biofertilizers. The idea is facing these technologies, which could be shown in the block in the middle, looking for different paths from the different byproducts of the olive, grape, and stone fruits. That means mainly olive oil sector, the wine sector, and the discarded stone fruit sector. So looking for different potential paths using these technologies, we will go through obviously optimization and some kind of I will say secondary stream process. We will go through the final products. These are the main numbers we are looking. The main target is, again, as Alba said in the other project, looking for the diversification. At least different products should be accomplished during the overall life of the project. For this and for creating these business models, we are working actually with some colleagues being here for creating the so-called living labs and pushing and pulling information for creating these business models. And the idea is reinforcing the situation of these companies. In the view or from the focus of the primary sector, we could say they are more or less aware about the raw materials they have so far, but they are not so well comfortable as we could expect in terms of how they could deal with these products in terms of liability and effective investments. For approaching these different ideas, we are using the living labs concept, where this is one of the most valuable things the primary sector could realize or could get from the project, mainly based in the increase of the visibility, expanding the portfolio and reputation, increasing obviously the market policy and science advance, and obviously attracting different situations in the sense of the business models. Now we are mobilizing in the project these amounts of byproducts. We can see obviously also the seasonality. Well, the main idea in the case of the olive sector could be if we consider this kind of standard approach in olive industry, the idea of RoboCop could be making an intermediate step in terms of valorization, creating this business model here. That means after the oil extraction, we could approach this byproduct, the biomass of the olive waste waters, but also after they could go through a secondary extractions for the olive sector. So this is the part where we are facing. Obviously, we have this parallel scheme for the wine and fruit sector. We are also trying right now to validate how to deal with the byproducts in terms of stabilization, because they, somehow we discovered they are decreasing the potential of the byproduct, not using such a good techniques in terms of stabilization. We probably all realize what it could be for the impact of the business model. And in our view, one of the key factors are that the business models is like in the center of the project. So the idea, there are many actors in the value chain of a cooperative or the primary sector. We consider that there are at least 3 levels. The first level are probably the cooperatives or primary producers, but after that, until the end users, there are different levels. The idea is focusing how to pull and push information and data and good techniques and habits for creating a cooperative business model, which is the overall target of the project. We are also facing to policymakers, obviously the research and innovation platforms, from the beginning until, as I said, the end users. So the idea is trying to connect, or make our best to connect the primary producer with the end users in terms of knowing at least what they could be doing with the products using the business case. So we using the living labs. I'm not going to explain much more about the living labs right now because I think I'm running out of time. But up to you, if you want me, I can. It's fine. I get the time right. Just 2 minutes. Well, the idea is we wanted to find a way to work together. Actually, the colleagues from the SID, which is another association in our region, are working directly in this work package. Is trying to put together the different ways of information. We usually say that the primary producer doesn't speak exactly the same language, we could say, in terms of putting into the market valuable products. So using this kind of techniques, putting together in different such a good dynamics, they can give us information and also request what could be necessary for them for closing a little bit the gap between the technology, the primary producers and the end users. So we found at least we will have 3 levels of actors here, like stakeholders, users and customers, and the idea is putting together in different kind of dynamics. The context of our current situation is going on, as Natak said before. We are again focusing future calls, and we are working in something further this idea with the aim, obviously, of engage potential partners, mainly of the primary sector and technologies, for putting directly this potential business model to the market. So we are more than open to discuss if consider it. So now, that's all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Andres, for your presentation. And right now, finally, to close this chapter and before moving on to the panel discussions, I would like to introduce Silvia Volado. She's from the University of Valladolid. She's a professor and chair of the Department of Chemical Engineer and Environmental Technology of the university. And she's also a core member of the Institute of Sustainable Processes. She leads a team of research in valorization of waste biomass, and she's also associate editor of the prestigious scientific journal Bioresource Technology. Silvia will be presenting CHEERS. CHEERS is an EU-funded project under the Horizon Europe framework, and the aim is to revalorize underutilized waste side streams from the brewing industry for subsequent conversion of 5 high-value added industrial byproducts, and all of this through a biorefinery approach. So, Silvia, if you would like to come.
Hello. Thank you very much for the introduction and for the invitation to NAT and also to Novaro. Sorry, to say me here. Okay, I want to present you the project CHEERS, which is producing novel non-plant biomass feedstock and bio-based products from upcycling and the cascading use of brewery side streams. This is a project about beer, not about beer, about waste stream from beer production. And starting on 22, and will finish on August 26, 48 months, and coordinated by Mao. Everybody here knows Mao, so I don't need to say more about it. And well, the overall budget is some more of 7 million, and from there my group has only 700, so 1,000. And we are 12 partners, and from 5 countries. From Spain, most of them. We have a lot of this. Not very usual for a European project. Most of our meetings are in Spanish, because we have most of them from Spain, also from Germany, from Portugal, from Switzerland, and from UK, from an association. This is an Horizon project, and these are the partners: Mao, INEA, Aqualia, Thunder Foods and Proteicetta, Genia, Zurich something, Innovarum, Earthworks, Cispro, Sunrise, we and the funding society. What wants to do the project? The project wants to revalorize the waste biostream from the brewing industry for converting them into 5 byproducts with high value added value. The product will be important, but for me, the most important that we are using as raw material something very simple, which is producing almost in all bio-based industry, which are organic wastewater and methane and CO2. So if you are not producing that directly, you can produce with anaerobic digestion from your waste. So these are our raw materials, and for me this is probably very important in this project. And so we have some partners who are studying the techno-economy of the processes and the life cycle assessment and the socioeconomic assessment. They are specialized. This is a modular solution for bio-based industries, focused on breweries, but also we are doing the same products on wastewater treatment plants. And we use 5 biotechnological routes to produce our 5 products. These are insect proteins, disinfectant, microbial proteins, ectoin, and fatty acid rich in caproic acid. All are new processes, using most of them biofermenters, not all of them, and with an integration of all the process to achieve, as everybody, zero waste biorefinery. We are working in a demonstration scale. All these processes were studied before. We were around before the project TRL5, and we expect to achieve TRL7. These are the products. We have an insect platform to produce protein and flour from insects using wet waste, solid waste, wet solid waste. And also we have many microbial platforms. One to produce fatty acid rich in caproic acid, which is good as food for animals, but also it has antibiotic properties, and well, it's very healthy, it seems. And we are using for that CO2 and wastewater with some solid waste also. We are producing also chlorine and disinfectant using a bioelectrochemical system from a brine who is coming from the ectoin production. And we are producing hypochlorite there. And we are producing ectoin, which is a high value product used for cosmetic. And we are working in this route. And we use for that biogas. We use the methane from biogas to produce ectoin. And also we are working in the downstream processes to purify this ectoin to obtain something to use as cosmetic. And we are also producing single cell proteins for pet feed. In the project, I will explain only that we are doing the ectoin production and the downstream processes. We have developed before this process, and now we are trying to move that to a higher level, a higher scale. And the main problem for us is to increase the yield. And the problem is the mass transfer from gas to liquid to increase the reaction. And this is almost easy if the reactor is small, but not so easy if the reactor is very big. And there we are changing we are working with capillary systems, with Taylor reactors, to increase the mass transfer or to increase the yield of the process. Changing the flow and changing the model of the flows. And we are trying to use now ceramic material to do the capillaries in order to increase the number of capillaries that we can include in the bed, just to understand what is our role in the project. Also, but this is my role, is the downstream process that for me is also a very important challenge of biorefinery, because to produce ectoin, which is expensive, I don't know, but around 1,000 euros per kilogram, we use a very salty solution. We stress the microorganism with salt, with brine, and there we need to remove the salt from the ectoin, and to remove the other byproducts produced in our reactor. So we need to have their electrodialysis. After that, we use ionic exchange. After that, we remove all this again, and we need to purify by crystallization and recovering all of these byproducts to use in other goods. Okay? So these are the people who is working with us in this question. I don't know if you know, but I will pass this because I don't know. And I want also introduce you all the international projects just in this same field that we are working about. And these are our projects from the last 5 years where we are involved, very related with this one. And there are just the new 5 projects that we are starting to do. Always we work with waste valorization, trying to use multi-biorefinery and trying to don't have more waste and using life cycle assessment and economic assessment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Silvia, for your presentation. And so now we have officially ended the presentations stage. So right now we will move to the panel discussions. We had a slight change in the agenda, so we will start with the panel discussion 2 instead of the first one. And for that, I will call a few panelists that will join us today. And I will pass this slide. And so right now we're going to be talking about challenges, difficulties, and opportunities in biorefinery markets, which is a topic that was raised in today's event and that it's very interesting. So we will have experts in this field to join us and discuss a little bit some questions that you might have or topics that you would like to raise to discuss. And I would like to call a few experts from today. The host will be Jose Maria Pinilla from NATAC. And I would like to also call Sophie Mason from NNFCC. I haven't introduced her, so I will do that now. She's a graduate in chemistry from the University of York, complemented her education with a master's degree in green chemistry from Imperial College in London, and she's an outstanding professional in bioeconomy and sustainable materials, and she's currently a senior consultant at NNFCC. And also, I would like to call Anne-Christine. Dr. Anne-Christine, she's a director at Danish Technological Institute in the Center for Bioresources, focusing on valorization of biomass through bioprocessing, such as biorefining and biofermentation, followed by downstream processing and product development. And lastly, I would like to call Johan Ramirez. He's a physical engineer with a master's degree in energy and project management, and he has a wide expertise in energy and techno-economic assessments and environmental, economic, and social impact analysis. He's working for Zero Engineering. So you can take a seat. And I'll leave the floor.
Also on the stage is Silvia.
Silvia, hola.
Well, so as I was mentioning, the idea of this first panel is to see the potential and challenges for the market penetration of the bio-based solutions, as we are all today engaged on all these biorefining processes and delivering at the final stage products that need to be marketed. So we need to understand how can it be done in an easy way. So I would like to start with a question talking about, well, we know we need to move for more sustainable processes and technologies to reduce environmental impact and move towards a more sustainable
way of producing things. Obviously, legislation and regulation is always something to be taken into account. So I would like to ask, for example, Johan, as someone very much related to all this, how do you see the legislation in terms of sustainable alternatives to traditional ways of producing things? And what digital changes do you think that could be considered necessary or could improve the movement towards this kind of sustainable industry in the future?
Okay. Hello to everyone. Good morning. Yes, it's a good question regarding the development of this kind of projects, the value-based industry and solutions for the Europe economy. Basically, we think that it is important to have good framework in regulation, but sometimes it brings together with barriers and opportunities. Both. It can act as a barrier or as an opportunity because the following reasons, I think so. As a barrier because sometimes regulations implies more investment for companies that want to apply or develop this kind of projects. It is the case for refinery ones, but we have another topics or examples like waste management plant for residues in the field, in Europe, for example, in the UK, in France, in Spain, and so on. And it is important to take these lessons to learn from those type of industry. But also, it can bring together opportunities because of it is an incentive for the companies to improve technologies and processes and good regulation, clear for construct new projects. And for example, Europe is making a good effort in developing these kind of projects. For example, with your project of SustainX and also what you have been done with NATAC, but also there are another projects approved by the European Commission through the Circular Economy program, like they are approved for this year. For example, new projects like Cycle, where ZeroE is going to participate in environmental impact assessments and so on. So I think that legislation is very important, of course, but it brings together barriers and opportunities. Thank you.
May I have a comment? I think I'll just speak up now. I think it's something that also the European Commission is quite aware of, that we need to look at all the regulations and legislations. I was just part of another panel discussion yesterday where the Danish Industry Corporation, they presented that they have just made this new biosolutions coalition with a lot of other industry corporations throughout Europe, and they are definitely pushing towards like a biosolutions act. With biosolutions, they mean all the biotechnology, bioprocessing, like both products and processes, and looking into if it would be possible to make this kind of biosolutions, biotechnology act by 2025, in order to see if we can push down the time that, especially on the novel food, is one of the major factors that is prohibiting new products. So like the rest of the world, the novel food regulations or approval will take like 1, 2, 3 years. Then in Europe, it's a lot more than that. So definitely, in the novel food regulations, that's one of the main points in starting that.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Yes, definitely. Yeah, probably Europe as in other areas, has a lot of regulation which is necessary, but sometimes it's preventing or doing sometimes maybe less competitive the companies that have to compete in a global market. So it's good to see how groups of companies around Europe are trying to push the regulators to really speed up a little bit or to make it easier on the regulation aspects. Thank you. And then moving for also to talk about the processing itself, we are all very aware of the TRLs, TRL5, TRL7, also TRL8, and then reaching the market. We all know that upscaling is something challenging, and it's normally a nightmare to process scaling up. So a question for University of Valladolid, from your experience in your projects, what do you think are like the main challenges related to scaling up a process? What do you think is key to take into account? How can we speed up this process? Or what do you think is really important to move from lab scale to reach real high scales?
Well, lab is very controlled situation, and you can have all under control, temperature, flow, models, everything. And you go to the industry and you have a lot of operational parameters that are changing continuously. And sometimes they are changing out of your model parameters. So you need to extrapolate your results to other situations. And this is always challenging because it's easier to do something with glass and with a styrene and to do that very easy. But if you are going to do even the downstream processes, you are using a membrane in your lab, and it's very different to go to the industry. And also the industry has their processes. Each industry wants to work as always was working, and with the same processes. If they are doing rectification, which is the process that they do, they don't want to use, for example, membranes or something like this. And you must combine them, and they say you know, but this is okay in the lab, but not in the industry. And even if you are thinking about something very easy in bioprocess, which is, for example, ionic exchange or something like this, they have a lot of problems to introduce that in the industry. Because most of the times we are talking about industry who produce waste, but it's not a bio industry. So we are applying techniques of the bio industry to a traditional industry. And for them, it is too much new because they extract or they do other things, but they don't do a bioprocess to ferment. They are not doing that. They are just producing beer, like always. So it's not difficult to work with a bio industry, which is always working with microbiology. It's difficult to include that in other industry, which is producing waste. So this is for me a challenge.
So yes, moving or changing the environment from the lab to industrial conditions is quite challenging. And then something very good point. We always talk about the reluctancy from the primary sector to move into innovation, but there's also some reluctancy from maybe traditional industries to move into new ways of doing things in a more sustainable or different. Thank you very much for your answer. And then maybe also, Anne-Christine, from your experience in DPI, what, let's say, last trendy or last innovations have you found in terms of technology or scaling up to address the future challenges of the industry? So what are your detection or your view of the last tendencies in technology development for new processes from DDI.
I think actually some of the things that we also heard today about the cascading utilization and the combination of both biorefining and fermentation, and how these technologies can be used together. For instance, having a pre-fermentation that might help or assist the biorefining. So I think having a better understanding of the overall processes and using them in a clever combination. I think that's something that I'm seeing where previously biorefining and fermentation were much more separated.
So again, the need for cooperation and working together is always.
Yeah, and as you said, the full utilization of the biomasses, because there will always be side streams, and that some of these, both the nutrients side streams and the more sugary side streams can, from the biorefining, can then be used in the fermentation and so on. So I think there's a much more holistic view of the biomasses and all the streams.
Thank you very much. And then moving now more straight to the market. So, Sophie, considering your experience in business modeling, business development, etc. So, as we all know, these new bioproducts, they need to compete with the traditional ones. So, what characteristics, what attributes do you think that should be really communicated when it comes to the commercialization of these new products? So what are like the main drivers in order to convince the consumers to move into these new solutions? You can share your views, please.
So we tend to say with new bio-based products coming to the market, they should try and aim to achieve three features. So well, at least two of these three. So economically, improve benefits over existing products on the market. They should try and be environmentally and socially beneficial compared to other products on the market. And finally, hopefully try and have some improved functionality as well over the products on the market. It's quite hard to achieve all three, but if a new product coming to market might have two of those, it has a good chance at least progressing. For example, with the OLEAF4VALUE project and the products that we've developed as part of this project, we can demonstrate that we've got improved environmental properties, so using waste biomass compared to, for example, petrochemical feedstocks, even other natural extracts. The OLEAF4VALUE project products are improved because they're coming from that waste feedstock. On the other side of that, we've got the improved functionality. So when it comes to bio-based products, we can think of two main types. We have drop-in chemicals, and we also have new-to-market chemicals. Those drop-in chemicals, you would hope to achieve, they will be the same as those currently on the market, the same as existing products that we all know. And so if you're going to try and replace those, you would hopefully try and have those improved environmental properties or improved social properties, improved cost hopefully. And then when it comes to new to market products, it's totally new. You don't have something to compare it to against the market. And so in that sense, you would at least hope that you can demonstrate some new properties, some new opportunities there, and demonstrate that you have the functionality that perhaps the products on the market don't have. And so with our OLEAF4VALUE products, we've demonstrated as part of the project that we've got improved solubility as part of those products, improved anti-inflammatory, I think, and antioxidant properties, and improved health benefits. And all that is really, really important when you're looking at communicating that to new businesses, consumers, the wider market. And those I would say are there, and as well as the cost, improved cost, but that generally comes with scaling up and kind of progressing on the market. But yeah, those I would say those three: economic, functional and improved environmental and social benefits. I would say key things to communicate.
So the cornerstone would be to address all three, and then
hopefully it's quite hard.
And do you see any special differences between the B2C market compared to B2B when it comes to the marketing of these new solutions?
Sorry, say again.
Do you see a difference between the B2B market compared to B2C market? So you need to convince other companies or convince the general public to go to the supermarket and choose the buy.
I think the general public, I think there is quite a push there. I think most people in the general public want to be more sustainable, and that in itself is driving businesses. So I think B2C, B2 customers, that is, I would say it's already there. I think there's definitely a drive for that consumer improved sustainability. And again, that in itself is driving businesses. We see big companies now like L'Oreal who are going completely bio-based, completely green, and that wouldn't come without a drive from the consumer. And so yeah, we're seeing this push from everywhere now. I think it's really positive.
Thank you very much. And then maybe a final question for you all, like in general. So, what do you think, or in what aspects do you think there will be major changes in this sector in the near future? So, how do you think it's going to evolve in the future, the bio-based sector in general, from your point of view? And how whatever you want to add something. So, how do you see it's going to be the bio-based industry, bio-based sector in 10 years' time, or in, let's say, in 5 years' time, not to go so long? How do you see? Do you think that we will finally reach the market, convince the people, move really? Because I always say when we started in this circular bio-based industry a lot of years ago, and we started attending different international forums and events, there were very, very few people. There were no big companies. It was like some friends together, speaking in the desert. And after a while, we have seen that that everyone is joining this new challenge adventure. So how do you see the future? Are you optimistic with this, or are you not? How do you see this?
I'm quite optimistic. I think the thing for me personally is I don't think people really realise just how vast the opportunities are in the bio-based industry. People see it as being quite niche, like you said, it's not quite progressed. But in theory, we could replace so many of the products that we currently use today with bio-based ones. The main issue at the moment is economically it's quite difficult to do, and technologically we're not necessarily there yet. So if in theory we can do that, there is so many opportunities in terms of research and collaboration and driving that forward. And I think, I think if we can communicate that to the wider public and to let people know what those opportunities are, and them to see these benefits that bio-based products can bring, I think that will in itself will drive things forward. And I think it's really exciting to be part of this at a relatively early stage, shall we say, and to be leading with projects like this and with partners like yourselves. I think it's a very exciting time.
Just as Sophie, I'm also very excited to be part of this, because I think the transition now is also coming to the companies where we have been seeing that push, pull from the consumers, that the companies now are realizing that this is also one of the parameters where they can make a difference and have a both, maybe not initially a commercial benefit from it, but definitely on some of the other goals that they're measured upon. I also think in terms of what we are hearing about like carbon dioxide, taxes, regulations, and these things will definitely also push this a lot faster forward, hopefully. But I think that the companies with their self-awareness will realize that they definitely have many
opportunities, many options for choosing more bio-based components.
Thank you very much. I'm also optimistic about this. I think that if you put the human being to think and you give him resources, then the solutions come. So just think about need and inspiration. Well, thank you very much for your inputs to this table. We will pass them to the next panel discussion. So thank you for being here. Well, if there's any comment from the audience, nothing else, everything clear? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much to everyone who participated in the first panel discussion. And right now we will move to the second one. Okay, so the topic for this discussion is the challenges, difficulties, and opportunities for the creation of new value chains in the primary production sector and the rural environment. And for this, we have as host Alberto Alvarez. He's the projects area director at Innovarum. He's a forestry engineer with a specialization in forest management. He has worked as a research and innovation consultant, specializing in EU projects proposals, and also with a focus on circular economy and bio-based value chains. And joining him as panelists, we have Margarita de Gregorio. Margarita, she's an agricultural engineer specialized in environment issues and a PhD in natural resource economics from the Polytechnic University of Madrid. And she also manages the Spanish technical and innovation platform, Biomass for the Bioeconomy. And next, we have Alba Ramos from NATAC. I already introduced her. And joining them as well, we have Francisco Pizarro. He is a professional with more than 20 years of experience in entrepreneurship under different points of views, education, promotion, services, and public policies oriented to young social and technological entrepreneurs. And finally, we have Andrés Álvarez from Universidad de Extremadura.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me? As Andrea said, I'm the project area director at Innovarum, and I will be the host of this now second panel, which was expected to be the first. And it's called, as Andrea said, challenges, difficulties, and opportunities for the creation of new value chains for the primary sector and the rural environment. And I think here the key word is rural. Well, this panel is expected to last around 20 minutes. So to discuss as much as possible, I allow you to interrupt, to provide your insights or your questions. Ideally, I will ask the first questions. This is going to be to spark an open debate. In any case, I have more questions for you. Well, starting first, I want to start with the example of the project Sustain Next, which has already been presented here, because it's a good example of a project dealing with stabilizing multi-valorization biorefinery to obtain different extracts from organic origin, and pushing towards new circular value chains in Extremadura, particularly in a rural, moving away also from use traditional approach. So as the project is based in Extremadura, and we have among us just the coordinator of this project and also two other experts from Extremadura, I would like to know what are the main challenges in moving from traditional crops, such as tobacco, to more sustainable ones, but maybe less intensive or economically risky ones.
Yes, so I like this question because we are talking about sustainability perception in the final product, but it's also important to consider it from the feedstocks, because in this project and in general in this kind of initiatives, we are addressing sustainability from the fields. So from our experience, and we have been starting to see some examples actually in the project. Firstly, one of the challenges is the initial investment by in the fields to implement this kind of sustainable models. They need to invest in infrastructure, sometimes in training, because they need to learn how do you need to work to really achieve this new goal of being sustainable and go beyond what you are doing in traditional crops. And also it involves an economic risk, because you don't know how would be the results of this new implementation. Moreover, if your idea is to reach the market, you need to be economic competitive. So you need to compare what would be the traditional results from traditional crops from these sustainable, innovative crops. So sometimes it's not easy, but I think this research and development projects are very good for let them know to have the opportunity to test how this will work and to learn also from the mistakes. But it's not easy for them to implement them. And also we have seen now some examples in the crop adaptation for this new sustainable system, because it's not the same to work in the fields when a well-established system that you have been developing for a lot of years and now started to work differently. You don't know how your crop will be. And we have seen some examples, for example, in the agrivoltaic crops that we have just started to run in Extremadura. We see that there is a lot of challenges because there are some crops that are not well established in these kind of fields. It's completely different for a common agriculture system. So it is good to start to know these challenges and now see how to face them.
Okay, Francisco, Andres, do you think the farmers actually are willing to change, or they are lacking the interest to change towards these more sustainable crops?
Well, thank you, first of all, thank you for inviting us to be here, and thank you for your best for Extremadura. No? Margarita is also from Extremadura. No, yeah, family.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you for inviting us. Farmers mainly think in the economic sustainability. So the other sustainability, the environmental, the social sustainability is a social worry and a political worry, and we have to work in this sense. But if we want to engage the farmers in this movement, in this trend, we have to guarantee the added value of the production. I think that the main topic of this new industry is that contribute to increase the agricultural production added value. They are all the day complaining about prices, about the value chain prices, and we are offering them that their products doesn't not correlate with the cost, but also with the value added generated. And this is a change of paradigm that they have to discover, but they have to discover by imitation. Farmers always works by imitation. So if you get engaged the leaders, the early adopters, if you get integrate the production into the factory, the biorefinery, the followers came after the leaders.
Thank you. I would like to add something from their perspectives. On somehow they consider the products usually are a problem, an issue with their business.
sometimes they even have to pay for the dispatching the delivered products. But once some of them around their business cases are getting profit for some waste, the others started to realize that they can get money for something that was out of their business cases. The thing, in my view, is we have to realize that the really owner of the product are the primary producers. It doesn't care if this is a byproduct of the other process. Once you close this loop with them, they started to be more proactive in the case of improving or sometimes even making small changes in their process enhance the potential of the byproducts. That means if you are extracting with some additive, you probably are decreasing the potential of the byproduct for the further steps. It's not so hard to incorporate this idea to them once they realize they are part of the business. But if we want to say them, we only pay you some cents by ton for your product and you don't care about it anymore, it's a different meaning. This is my view. I'm just trying to put into the table what they will think.
And as your project is in 3 different areas, Robocop is in West Macedonia, I think, Apulia and Extremadura. Do you find differences between these different countries?
Yeah, obviously they are so different because I will say that these kind of products are from really antique families or really antique techniques, in the sense of they are not, I would say usually they are not so open mind in the sense of innovation. So what we have found here is we can discover 2 blocks. We can simplify in 2 blocks. The ones that are really worried about the quality of the product. If we discuss about olive oil, they are putting efforts in increasing the quality of the olive oil for putting into the market at whatever level. But there are another step that are starting to realize that they can prepare some new products from the olive sector. It's not only olive oil. So once you split this behavior, you can realize a lot of differences. And in my view, West Macedonia, probably it's just a curiosity, are usually more conservative. I will say that later, Apulia region, and I would say thanks to everything, our region is on somehow, probably because in the good case of NATAC, they are spreading a good message in terms of finding something else from the product.
Lead by example, I like that. Well, linking the challenges with the opportunities, also Bioplat provides a very holistic view of the entire field, from the problematics to the solutions. So in that sense, I know that very recently the Bio3 association was launched, which is an association lobbying for the biocircularity in Spain. So regarding that, what are the main challenges addressed by this new association, and what are the opportunities being promoted?
Thank you for inviting us to be here today in this amazing project. I'm so sad always when projects are about to finish, because it's such a good experience, for many different stakeholders to work together, and I had the chance to be involved in this project as part of the advisory board, and I can say it's a very good project. There is a link there actually. I don't know if there is a sign or Yes, I come from Bioplat. Bioplat is the Spanish technology and innovation platform on biomass before, now on biocircularity. BioPlat was launched in 2006, so we've had the chance to work along with the biomass sector since the very beginning, almost 18 years ago now. And we cover the whole value chain of the sector, from the feedstocks, raw materials, biomass, all the biomasses. Spain is a very, very rich country in biomass because we have our forests grow 3 times faster than the European forest, the media European forest. We are a very agri country. We have a very strong agro-industries. We are the first producer of olive oil in the world. We are the vineyard of Europe, so we have quite a diversity of biomass resources. So we cover from the resources to all the valorization processes, energy, fuels, but as well gases and bio-based products. And we cover as well all the added value we produce. This year we launched a spin-off of BioPlat, BioCirc, because in biomass, in BioPlat we are especially focused on R&D and public-private collaboration. We are promoted and financed by the Spanish Science and Innovation Ministry, and in BioCirc we are going to be focused in policy, in regulation. Our priority in BioCirc is to make society in general understand, and decision makers in particular, to make them understand that biocircularity can be a pillar in territories in Spain. So biocircularity can be a way to fix some environmental problems because organic matter pollutes, emits, lixiviates. So it's something that we have to work on, and the result of the treatment of that organic matter is the generation of bioenergy, biofuel, biogases, bio-based products. We don't have biocircularity in the Spanish public agenda. That's why sometimes it's so hard to develop projects, and you know very well in ATTAC, when you start working in any kind of biocircularity project at any scale, it's very difficult because you have to start everything from, even not from scratch. It's also, it's mostly from nothing. So you have to start working on your supply of biomass. You have to guarantee the supply of biomass. So you have to go and knock on all the doors you have around your project. So you have to be the one. You don't have a trader that is going to buy your biomass commodities. It doesn't work like that in Spain. You have to go around, and as you know very well, you have to guarantee your feedstock from the very beginning, and this is one of the main challenges that we have. So if we want to promote biocircularity in Spain, and we really want to create and to build that pillar in territories, we need to work absolutely close to the primary sector, as well to the secondary sector. And this is one of our main challenges, but is something paradoxically is as well one of the main opportunities that we have to create values, because there aren't so many renewable and sustainable businesses able to penetrate in territories and to create value there. So, and in biocircularity we have that, that capacity to integrate our sustainable business models in territories, use waste, byproducts, wherever is organic matter there. Organic carbon is what we use. Biogenic carbon is our bricks to do whatever we want to do, and that is a challenge, but at the same time is an opportunity. And another big challenge related to the primary sector is to be able to create a feedstock market, really to create and to consolidate that market, to be able to acquire, to be able to guarantee that supply in an easier way than we are doing now. So we are very obsessed with commoditizing biomass feedstocks, to be closer to the way that other sectors work. So our main aim is to substitute fossil carbon, fossil methane, fossil hydrogen, fossil wherever, by organic carbon, organic methane, organic hydrogen. So that's why we need to make all of this more dynamic, and we are going to try to keep pushing from BioPlat, from all the R&D and I side, and we are going to start pushing from all the regulatory and policy way, and policy side.
And it's being hard to start knocking doors. Policy makers are open.
In this sector, absolutely nothing is easy. If someone is telling you something in our sector that is easy, is absolutely false. So there is nothing easy here, because our projects are tailor-made. So we have to see the amount of feedstock we have, the type of feedstock we have, then we have to choose the technologies we are going to use. We have very major technologies cheaper, we have more complex technologies and less major, more expensive. So it depends, the technology you choose is going to depend on the affordability that you have as an entity, and then we have to build that project. And building a project in the biocircularity sector, because of that, is difficult. But there are some aspects, some features that even though we know that it's not going to be easy, we can facilitate some aspects that now are complicated, and we think we can work on that. And one aspect is all the supply and everything related to the primary sector. So we should build more connections between the primary sector and this sector, because we need them, but we are going to support them and to add value to them as well. So this is a win-win, let's say, relationship or exchange of services. We need them to open their mind and to understand that they are going to be able to have traditional crops, but as well to have dedicated biomass crops. And they are going to be able to diversify their crops and their businesses and their companies and their exploitations. But for that, we need the European Commission to start considering biomass dedicated crops for energy, for fuels now. Last Friday, for the first time in, 12 years, 15 years, the European Commission considered again in Annex 9 of the Renewable Energies Directive crops, just rotational crops, and just for sustainable aviation fuel. But already crops are in the directive, so this is a very great news. So we need to open and to widen that, and it is needed to be understood that biocircularity is so horizontal. It has the ability to be integrated in other sectors, and that is the way that it has to work. So this is one challenge, but at the same time it's a great opportunity.
I don't know how much time we left. We have 5 minutes more? Okay, we have 5 minutes. Okay. So I want to make an open question to all of you. It's also maybe a political question. I don't want to get you into trouble, but
what are we doing?
No, yes, recently we have seen signs of dissatisfaction from some farmers in Europe, mostly towards European institutions. So regarding the unfair competition from non-EU members, because here we work with more higher standards than them, so how can we change the focus from reducing the environmental high standards and focusing more into transforming that into a perceived competitive advantage, so the farmers know that this is beneficial for them.
Well, we are in the European elections period, so it's a very good moment for talking about that. But if you realize nobody is talking about that in this campaign, nobody is talking about Europe in this campaign because probably they don't want to tell the geostrategic aspect of this decision. Environmental standards are not only a wish of a better planet or a more sustainable planet, but also a new Cold War. It's like a Cold War, no? It's like the aerospatial career in 90s, no? Now is the Green Cold War. It's a continental strategy for protect the internal market first. The second one is a strategy for fostering R&D in order to gain sovereignty in energy and raw materials. And it must be a common commitment for doing Europe stronger, cleaner, responsible. It's not only a physical war, also, but not only. It's our values and our model of continent. No? In a global war, if you have to compete with our neighbors, we have to determine what is our identity and our strength. I think that if we translate, if we communicate this message to the society make it like a flag, a common flag, and not only perceived like a naive wish, no? Because if everybody thinks that this is a naive wish, some people say, don't count with me, no? But if it is a collective or a community fight, I think that people will engage better. It's my opinion, but personal opinion. very, very personal opinion.
Well, I would like to add something also. I completely agree in this last point. So it is very important to communicate. So let the consumers know what are the main benefits for this sustainable approach. So what are the main benefits regarding health, quality, environmental aspect of the product when they go to the market. But also it's important to make them clear and to be able to identify what are these products, because if we are talking about competition with other countries and we want to transform it in a good vision from Europe, it is important to work in labeling, in certification. So here we need to work a lot in regulate that, to make clear labels or clear points that you can easily identify. So you can then decide or you can be sure what are you buying in the markets.
Well, in my view, there is another aspect which is mainly the same, but with another perspective, I would say. Again, from the primary, they are worried about boundaries. I mean, competitiveness in terms of importing products with lower standards requirements. So linking with the potential labeling of circular or bio-based products, it's something quite important, I would say. But also the thing is, right now, again, producers are focusing in the policy in terms of the liability of the current business. Once you say, we are working in a project, an international project under the umbrella of the European Commission, they usually consider that you are somehow a link between the standard or traditional producers and the European Commission, and they try to push you to present the message of what is not going good, I would say. But the thing is, we are overlapping efforts. This is my view, my personal view. Something is dealing with the land, which is crops, but we are more focused in how to prepare a circular idea of the current business. So I will try to split the message that they should be a little bit separated. It's the same thing, but on somehow we cannot afford this kind of problems since the bio-based policy. If not, probably producers will focus only in the bureaucracy and the boundaries. This is my just personal. Thank you.
I think these elections are going to change the game, absolutely. Regarding to farmers, I think the approach that the European Commission is taking is not correct. It doesn't address the problems that farmers have. I mean, reducing the environmental requirements are not going to be the solution to the other farmers' products coming from outside the European Union. And this is the risk we are going to have in this election. So, in these elections, there are two main, let's say, ideas. There is competitiveness of the European Union and strategic autonomy of the European Union. And reducing the green agenda, we are not going to gain more competitiveness, neither more strategic autonomy here. So, I mean, we have to be able to be more, let's say, to have an approach more open and more wide about the problems, because we are not losing competitiveness and autonomy because of our green policies. We are losing competitiveness, industry and autonomy because other facts and other policies. So reducing the green agenda or the green requirements can't be the solution to grow in competitiveness and industrialization and autonomy. So I think these elections are going to be, before and after, because probably there are going to be interpretations in this way, as they did with farmers. So let's see what happens after the 9th. Let's see what happens.
Okay, thank you very much. It was very fruitful and interesting, I think. Well, I want to open just for questions from the audience, if you have any. If not, we can go to have lunch. So, no questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Hello? Sorry, it was so loud. I just wanted to say, like, a few words, 2 minutes, promise, before you go for the important part of the event, which is the wine. So, I've been making some notes during the event, so I will try to make a kind of general recap and some take-home messages from today's event. So first of all, considering the OLEAF4VALUE project, we have learned from our colleague Cuba from Work Package 1 all about this OLEAF4VALUE encyclopedia and how it can be the trigger for a new concept in redefining. Then from Emma Ivanova, our researcher, we have seen the materialization of some views, so how does it really, from a practical point of view, works. So going into more detail in all this cascading smart approach. Then from Rolando and the rest of Work Package 3 partners, we have seen all these cutting-edge technologies that can serve to fine-tune formulations into really high added value and tailor-made new products. Then from Goose and Work Package 4, we have seen all this new scientific evidence to unlock the potential of these new bio-based solutions for the industry. And then we have seen some examples of different projects, Sustainex as a new challenge in order to continue with this new way of refining. Then also from Andres with this new Robocop project. So how, again, the need to engage the primary sector and to look for new business model to engage the whole value chain on board. Then Silvia has shared also another example of how all these agri-industrial side streams, in this case from beer, can serve as a good feedstock. And then in the two panelists, we have also heard some interesting ideas how a regulation can be a push or pull tool in order to foster and drive the economy. I also like this new idea of the reluctancy from the industry, not from the primary sector, in order to innovate, because it's also a focus on the other side of the value chain. We have also seen this cornerstone in order to enter the market, functionality, sustainability, and obviously cost, money. And then in general, we are optimistic about the future, which is always good. And then for the second panel, we have seen these challenges around the new crops. So how can we convince primary producers and the challenges around, and how, again, sustainability is important, but cost and price is also important for the primary sector. And I love this early adopters concept. I think this is key, to have these early adopters and also to see who and where things are being done and how. So copy in a good way. So let's look into where people is working and how, and bring back those ideas. And then also diversification, and also this BioCirc, which is this new spin-off from Bioplan, with it's like a meeting point for new circularity in Spain and hopefully abroad also, to create this pillar. And then, finally we have this political question around. I think that if I took it correctly, the general idea is that we maybe need to fight not in the lowest standards, but really fighting the high standards and try to patent our way of doing things, our green agenda, and our autonomy. Lastly, I would like to thank Innovarum, and also especially my colleagues Salome and Susana, because they have been taking care of this event. So really big thanks to them, and also to all of you for your presence, especially our partners from OLEAF4VALUE. And I think I have to call the partners here for a group photo. So please, the OLEAF4VALUE partners, if you can come to the stage so we can have a family photo, group photo. Thank you very much.
Makes sense.